Yeah, I think that stable coins are going to provide a big opportunity for both, or I should say, could provide a big opportunity for the United States if the United States would embrace stablecoin. When I say United States, I should clarify and say the US government would embrace stablecoins, because today, a lot of people really enjoy using stablecoins in the world of crypto. And so what a stablecoin is you can think about it as a crypto representation of a stable value. So where is it used most? It's used most with the US dollar. So you have all sorts of stable coins. So if you have, let's say one of them is called USDC. And so if you have one USDC, it is redeemable for $1. Approximately, there might be a small variation on that, but approximately $1, right? Mm-hmm. And there are other stable coins like that are worth approximately $1. So the value of this is that as a consumer, let's say that it is heavily in crypto and in cryptocurrency, instead of, say, having, $500 in your bank account, you could have 500 USDC in your self-custodial wallet. And what's great about that is that in this industry, in this ecosystem, when you start paying people, like, you don't have to be like, you know what? I missed the wire cutoff today. For a lot of people that may not know, is that every single day there is a cutoff time from when you can send a wire transfer in the United States. And so if you want to send a wire transfer in the United States, you have to beat this time. And if I recall, I think it's 1 Eastern or 1 Central. And so stablecoins allows you to easily transfer as much dollars as you want at any time. I mean, it could be on Saturday or Sunday and you can transfer. I mean, like, again, when we think about the modern financial system in the United States, and you think about it being only open on Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, depending upon what the financial service is, and you were to say, like, let's apply that to the internet and say the internet's only open, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, people would laugh and think that's such an absurd concept. And so that today, money needs to move at the speed of the internet. Money needs to be accessible like the internet. And so stable coins really provide this value for people.
Also, now, it's not the same thing you're talking about, but I had to move money from my business checking account into my personal checking account. And so I wrote myself a paper check. I actually had a paper check in my physical real world wallet. I actually own one. And I went to the ATM and I go, and I do my thing and I put it in, and I wasn't reading carefully. And because it was a larger than amount that I normally do, because I was getting ready to leave town or something. And I just wanted to get that in there and, not worry about it. And I go in and I proved it. They put a 7-day hold on the deposit.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was the worst of all worlds, where I'm getting ready to leave town now and I don't have that. And like, I should have just canceled and written a smaller check, but I wasn't reading it. And then, oops, now I don't have the physical check anymore. It's sitting in the ATM and I don't have my money. So because the bank's going to sit on it and process it for a week to say, we don't know if we trust that, so it just underscoring, this is insane that we're at this stage where we have all this technology and yet financial processing is still like 1950s technology.
And that's absolutely right. And I have done that, what you just described, as to write yourself a check from a business account so that you can go deposit into a personal checking account. I have done that a number of times, and it's just every single time that I've done it, I always laugh at the craziness in the system that exists today in the traditional financial system, especially in the United States.
Well, so just to make sure the listeners understand, the reason I brought up the stablecoin thing was because I think some people hearing your vision that we presented 10 minutes ago were like, oh, right, JP, sure, if everybody switched over and the whole world started using Bitcoin, then we could have this world of 100% reserve banking and I get to control. But that's not the world we live in right now. I got to pay, my landlord's not going to take Bitcoin or Ethereum. So I was just trying to show that, like, the stable coins are sort of like this stepping stone where people can get used to the digital coin environment, but without having a lot of their wealth in something that is volatile at the moment.
Absolutely. And so I think we're going to see the continued progression of growth in stable coins. So right now, in terms of the number of dollar stablecoins that exist. There's about roughly $100 billion of stablecoins, of dollar stablecoins in usage. So that is showing that there is a lot of interest here and a lot of usage. So you're absolutely right. As more financial platforms start adopting cryptocurrency, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that, like you said, that the place where you go buy your groceries or whatever, all of a sudden just has to accept Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency. It could be, ideally, we get to a world where you as the consumer, you just go buy the things that you need and you don't really have to think about like, is this Bitcoin? Is this using cryptocurrency? What is this using? Like, you don't have to think about the technology. Like when you get on the internet, you're not thinking like, oh, what are the protocols that are being used here? It's like, oh, I'm opening up my web browser and I'm going to go to whatever website and just do whatever you need to do. And so when it comes to payment technologies with cryptocurrency, that's a future that we see and a future that we want. We want to make it so simple, so frictionless that as a consumer, you don't have to think about all the nitty-gritty details.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a good analogy, and it obviously tell me, I mean, I know this isn't literally the same thing, and you can clarify in terms of the ways it is analogous and not, but like right now, if you're traveling to Europe or something and you're going to a few country, and if you have major credit cards and you go to a restaurant, they're gonna take it. You don't need to know like, oh, do they do euros here or do they, you know what I mean? Like if it's a major country that's you're gonna be okay, and it's not, oh wait, hang on, let me get my credit card that is denominated in, that they take care of that behind the scenes, so to speak. And so is that kind of what you're getting at? That it's at some point that on the interface behind the scenes, we'll go ahead and, given your preferences, you can say draw down on these accounts according to this waterfall approach.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And to kind of go one step further from that, a lot of people still use, physical credit cards when they're purchasing and, like, as you mentioned, going to Europe or wherever. And touchless, like, I guess if we were to say that there was one benefit of the time during COVID, if we were to try attribute one benefit, I would say kind of the adoption of touchless payment technologies. So when you go in whatever store, and a lot of stores now accept it so that you can just take your phone, tap the terminal, and then you can be on your way. And so we see a future where that kind of tapping the terminal extends out to your crypto wallet. And then again, you don't necessarily have to think of like, oh, this is coming from Bitcoin or Ethereum or dollars or whatever. It just seamlessly works in the background, and you can buy the goods or services that you need.
Hey, everybody, this is Bob Murphy. Thanks for listening to this clip from the InFi podcast. If you like what you heard and want to hear more, please consider subscribing and share this video with others. We've got new episodes dropping every Friday with more insightful discussions. Stay tuned.